Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to try and answer questions and try and fill in the gaps, things which had fallen by the wayside in our talks during the week. And then tomorrow or sometime over the weekend, but anyway before Monday, we'll get to the very serious subject I would like to talk to you all about. But first, let's talk about this. You see, we often say things because we think or we feel it to be so. And then sometimes it turns out to be so, and sometimes it doesn't. But somehow, when our speculation turns out to be true and our suspicions confirmed, then it actually makes it all worse. Don't you agree? Well, in this particular case, I think it does. You see, in yesterday's video, I sort of joked and called Invictus the Invictus of Harry and Meghan, meaning that Harry and Meghan are making money out of Invictus instead of donating to Invictus. Yet now it appears to be all too true and not a joke at all. And not true by assumption, like YouTubers, myself included, sometimes sell in our videos, but true because it is proven to be true. You see, not only are both Harry and Meghan merching the heck out of Invictus by making the brand names of their clothing like the very obvious Eddie Bauer anorak Harry wore, and boots and shoes, etc., known, but as we suspected, not all those cameras clicking away are really mainstream media contracted photographers or even paparazzi. Oh no, the movie cameras following them everywhere is actually part of some project they have going. You see, Harry and Meghan are not just hanging out with Will Reeve and a film crew on the slopes for the heck of it, or indeed to really promote the injured veterans. Yes, you will see. Will Reeve, son of the late Christopher Reeve, dropped a hint on Instagram calling it the Bluebird assignment. And yes, whatever project Harry and Meghan are doing with Will Reeve, which may just be a segment for Good Morning America, although I don't think so. Well, whatever they are up to, I honestly think it forms part of their rebrand because the bluebird is a symbol of positivity and renewal. And indeed, to start off with, there will be a sit down interview with Will Reeve on Good Morning America today. However, whatever the bigger project, if there is one with or without Reeve, we don't know, it is not for Netflix, as Netflix confirmed that those movie cameras have absolutely nothing to do with them. Ouch. A source close to Harry and Meghan also confirmed that the filming had nothing to do with Netflix, but he or she would not elaborate and just said it is an open press event with lots of cameras. However, we are not blind, and it is very clear that Harry and Meghan has something going with Will Reeve and or acting up to more than just a segment for a sit-down interview. And in my opinion, it appears that Will Reeve is indeed hinting at something in his post on Instagram. Now, whether it is just the Good Morning America interview or something bigger remains to be seen. But what is being put out in the media is that in the interview, Harry will talk about his father's cancer diagnosis. Yes, you heard me right. Harry had been selling his mother's death for years now, and now he will be selling his father's cancer for profit. It is utterly, utterly despicable. I mean, do you agree with me? Or am I the only one? I don't think so. Apparently, he will share how his father is doing and so forth. Yes, like he is the expert after spending 12 to 17 minutes with his father. He will allegedly also open up about his life with Meghan and talk a little about the wounded veterans he supports. Yeah, right. How? How? By taking from their charity, by allowing their charity to pay for his and his wife's private jet and accommodation? Uh, What else has he done for wounded veterans? Has he helped with paying for additional medical care? Has he helped paying mortgages or sent a child to university? What has Harry done to support veterans? Except for the one him and Meghan allegedly bought a house for or paid a house off for. Now don't ask, because I am not going to tell, not yet. But if true, then that was a personal matter and had nothing to do with him being a wounded veteran, has it? No. Anyway, that is a completely different subject and still does not answer the question as to what exactly Harry has done for wounded veterans in the last 4 years, except to show up with his ugly face and dragging his expensive, overpriced wife along. Well, by the time you get to see this particular video, you and I have likely already seen the Good Morning America interview. So we'll talk about that later. My point is that this absolutely 100% proves that Invictus has indeed become the Harry and Meghan show. Otherwise, Will Reeve would have been out there filming and interviewing veterans and not Harry and Meghan. Okay, let me breathe. Okay, let's quickly address something else. I finally got to see the 12 seconds of a group of Canadian men. Well, it sounded like men only, booing Harry and Meghan. And yes, they were loud, and I applaud them. Or at least they had the guts to show their true feelings and not just talk about behind Harry and Meghan's backs. However, it is also true that another group serenaded them with the anthem, God Save the King. Now, I already know that a handful of people do not agree with me, but I think that was highly, highly inappropriate. They are not on a state visit. They are not working royals. And Invictus has nothing to do with the king. Never mind the fact that Meghan is an American citizen and not a British citizen, and Harry, although being a British citizen, is now living in the United States permanently. So why the hell would you serenade the two of them with God Save the King? Anyway, it is this kind of thing which makes me sick. The hypocrisy, the falsehood, it is vomit inducing. And yet another reason why I and so many others are absolutely adamant that Harry be taken from the line of succession and his titles stripped, because him and Meghan will, whether you like it or not, whether you try to ignore it or not, they will be aligned with the monarchy unless or until this happens. And clearly, at this point, Harry and Meghan are full-blown anti-royalists and slandering Britain at every opportunity they get. So, I mean, keep them on the website, keep Harry in the line of succession and running around with royal titles, and you will have a rogue royal out there dismantling the monarchy, one comment, one interview, one documentary, one book at a time. We are all putting our hope on William. But at this rate, there will be nothing left for William to work with when his time comes. Sometimes I think William should do himself a favor and pack up his lovely wife and children and go live somewhere near the Middletons on his own private estate. He can continue with Earthshot and Homeward Bound and do whatever his heart desires. Anyway, guys, I find all of this a little distressing because although this channel is about Harry and Meghan and the royals, this kind of rewarding bad behavior is happening all over the world, and more often than I would like to admit to in my own country. Harry and Meghan are chipping away at our shared history. They are soiling and cheapening the vision, the fantasy, and the respect we had for 1,000-year-old institution, because, good or bad, it had been a constant in our lives, like glue holding us together. But now, 100% and utterly due to Harry and Meghan, it is becoming a daytime soap opera. And like with the soap opera, we see it all as fiction and cannot believe a single thing unless we can prove it ourselves. Our trust in the monarchy is fading fast. Like I said, fading a little more with every interview, every article, every story, every documentary, every book Harry and Meghan put out there. Yes, as much as I adore him, a king called Willie is not the stuff of fairy tales. But I can't help you, Charlie and Willie. Only you can help yourselves by cutting Harry and Meghan from the monarchy, by removing those pesky titles they are financially benefiting from, by removing Harry from the line of succession, because you both will be in just a little more danger for as long as he and his supposed offspring are in the line of succession. That, my dear Charles and William, is what you can do to help yourselves, because who cares what he calls himself once he is no longer a prince or a duke and no longer in the line to the throne? Whether he calls himself Smith or Sussex or Brown or whatever will be utterly irrelevant. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to go because I want to do a few things before I go watch that interview and make notes and so on. So I'll see you back here soon, but please be careful out there. Take good care of yourselves until we speak again. Bye.